and it is not Kigezi agenda. It is Southwestern Regional Development Strategic Agenda, Ankole and Kigezi. So soon we are going to even start sitting and creating flagships of projects so that we should start.
So this is a strategic location for the region. It's a strategic location for our country. And we should really congratulate the leadership of Soro for giving us this important piece of land.
Abel Bizimana is also happy that President Yoweri Museveni recently penned an order directing technocrats to fast-track the start of the John Kalekahura Institute of Science and Technology, a beacon of hope for the development of the area.
The John Kalekahura Institute of Science and Technology, we want to make it a center of Pan-Africanism in Africa. And there are very many people who are willing to come and support us. The project is not just another technical school. I want Ugandans to know this is a national and international institute. We are not building another small institute of the constituency. We are nationalizing and internationalizing this institute according to the essence. And my president wrote a very good letter to that effect.
Though it is not yet clear when the industrial park and John Kalekahura Institute of Science and Technology will kickstart, the region's leaders are confident that the government is on the right side of Kisoro and region's development.
That is the assurance we have that they are going to go to cabinet, pass the issue, take the matter to parliament, get the money assigned, and as soon as we get the money, because we cannot say industries are coming tomorrow without first developing the place.
And along with these two projects, meant to awaken the region's sleeping giant, the downtrodden like the Batra, who have had to endure generational injustices, prejudices, and isolation, are being helped to participate in this socio-economic boom.
Concentrated in Kigezi, especially in Rwanda, they are around Karenjeri, Butanda, in Kanungu. They had even started becoming a tourism attraction. Actually, some people had started taking them as a second class of gorillas. Beings, a minority with dignity, and once they look good, we want to be the battle to be like those of Congo, those of Rwanda who have been settled. We have Aborigines in Australia who are supported by their countries, and the matter of Batwa has been settled once and for all in Uganda books of law.
All of this comes at a time when leaders have adopted a conciliatory tone in preparation for this landmark leap forward stage that signifies prosperity for all.
Because the case, the way it was going, was in my favor. But also Milton, brother, says, let's come off. We are embarrassing ourselves. We are all brothers, Bafumbira. Let's leave this stage. It is also welcome. But I thank
Haimana Deo, reporting for UBC News.
Now, the Ministry of Gender, Social Development, Labour, in partnership with the EU and DP, have actually come up with streamlined strategies to bridge the gap in gender-based violence caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Among, says the affected numbers are bound to reduce if other partners do come on board.
Despite of the countermeasures put in place by the Ministry of Health to scale down the spread of COVID-19 infections in the country, the efforts have to a larger extent sparked off unprecedented gender-based violence in homes, unwanted pregnancies involving teenagers. According to police reports, over 60.5% of gender-based violence were recorded. Following this police report on gender-based violence, the Line Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has set up coordination structures in 7 operational districts to deliver on planned outputs and results for the targeted population.
We are going to scale up our activities. We are going to do more monitoring. We are going to do more intervention to ensure that for those who have already got pregnant, we rehabilitate them and develop their skills as girls. For those who want to return to school, we are going to work with the Ministry of Education to ensure that girls who are dropped out and become pregnant can be re-established, rehabilitated, and returned back to school.
The European Union and United Nations, through Spotlight Initiative, have re-echoed their call for more funding following reports of diverted resources that had earlier been allocated for the cause of addressing gender-based violence by 2030.
We would feel more comfortable if somebody else, some other country, some other donors could step in, join us, and then alongside us, together, all together, would continue the great work that the Ministry and the UN with our support have been doing in the last 3 years.
I think we recognize that it's not enough. And also, quite frankly, let's be honest, we recognize that this is not a problematic that will be easily dealt with. This is not going to, in 4 years, we're not going to eliminate violence in Uganda. And also, just to note, Uganda is not particularly special in this. It's a global problem.
The Joint Steering Committee held today has seen the three parties signing an agreement as a receipt for assurance that by 2030, all efforts invested shall have yielded fruitful results for the country. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Shaidat Nasaku, for that news. Health experts have warned the blood clots can affect anyone and may lead to significant health problems, but some people are at a higher risk for life-threatening blood clots. Our reporter, Zahra Abigaba, spoke to Dr. Henry Dungu, a hematologist at Uganda Cancer Institute, who reveals that 1 in 4 people worldwide die of conditions caused by blood clots, also known by the medical term thrombosis. In fact, thrombosis is the third leading vascular diagnosis after heart attack and strokes. Details in this report.
There are 2 types of threatening blood clots. Deep vein thrombosis is a clot in a deep vein in the legs, arms, or other large veins. Pulmonary embolism occurs when a clot breaks free and travels to the lungs. Although blood clots can be fatal, many, if not most, cases are preventable. However, I spoke to Dr. Henry Dungu, a hematologist from Uganda Cancer Institute, to understand the circumstances that lead to high risk and severity of blood clots. But first, what is a blood clot?
Blood stops running within the vessels. Ideally, under normal circumstances, blood should be freely running in blood vessels. But under certain circumstances, it stops and then it coagulates and becomes a clot. So it tends to form in deeper veins or arteries. And when it forms in there, we say you have got a blood clot. If it's in the deep vein, we call it deep vein thrombosis.
Statistical information indicates that 1 in 4 people worldwide die of conditions caused by blood clots. This literally means that some people are at a higher risk of developing a blood clot than others, like people above the age of 65, trauma, long hospital stays, surgeries, among others.
Anyone can actually get a blood clot, but there are some situations that make it worse for people. For example, if you are immobile, for whatever reason, you are staying in one place and you are incapacitated, you can't move. Assuming you got a stroke and one part of the body can't move, or assume you got a pelvic fracture and you have undergone surgery, or even if you get a foot fracture and then we cast it, it means we are immobilizing that area and you are at risk of getting a clot.
But how can one tell that he or she has a blood clot?
It is usually in a limb that is affected, and that limb is going to get swollen. It might feel warm, it might feel tender. So what happens, people run and do a massage because the limb feels stiff. Unfortunately, sometimes when they do that, the clot moves.
A blood clot that dislodges and begins moving through the bloodstream can be harmful, like when a deep vein thrombosis makes its way to the lungs and gets stuck.
When the clot goes to the lungs, what we call pulmonary embolism, usually it manifests with sudden onset shortness of breath. When you take a breath, it's like incomplete. You feel pain when you breathe, and sometimes you develop a cough. And when you cough, you might get blood in the sputum that comes out. So those are some of the signs and symptoms that we get when a clot goes into the lungs.
However, if you know you are at the risk for a blood clot, medics recommend that you can help yourself by moving around, eating well and maintaining a health weight.
If you're in your office, if you're at work, if you're at home, if you're traveling, make sure you're moving. Even if you just move your toes, it is good enough to help blood move. And to keep well hydrated, we drink plenty of water, plenty of juice, and reduce on the caffeinated drinks, because that one increases the risk of thrombosis. Reduce on the amount of smoke.
Hematologists say that if blood clots are detected early, they can be managed and treated.
A blood clot, if treated early, can be treated, especially before it goes to other parts of the body. And that's what we're saying. It's important to understand that in your leg there could be a blood clot. If we detect it early, we can treat it and you get better. However, if we don't detect it and it keeps on moving and drops into dangerous parts such as the lungs, then it is very, very difficult, because a clot in the lungs can kill you suddenly.
Globally, on average, one person dies every 6 minutes from a blood clot. Don't be one of them. Blood clots can be prevented. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
Well, the late General Paul Locate actually got an injury that caused him a clot that then reduced his life and ended it suddenly. His body is being laid to rest today. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Away from that, High Court sitting in Bale has dismissed Florence Nambozo's prayer that was seeking court to not entertain a petition filed against her on grounds that it was badly filed. In a petition, Aisha Mafabi Lumolo wants court to annul her political opponent and the Sironko woman member of parliament, Florence Nambozo's victory, arguing that she lacks the required academic documents. Appearing before High Court, Judge David Matovu, through her lawyer Charles Nanda, the respondent Florence Nambozo attempted to object submission of some affidavits from Aisha Lumolo's camp, alleging they were unlawfully administered by an incompetent commissioner. According to Wamkota, all the affidavits in support of the petition were commissioned by an advocate, Enoch Samuel Chabakaya, who has not renewed his practicing certificate. He prayed that all the affidavits be remanded irrelevant of this petition, and issue the petitioner's Aisha Mafabi Lumolo's lawyers rejected. Justice David Matovu ruled that the affidavits were stayed as they administered a practicing advocate. This was after counsel for Mafabi and the Electoral Commission successfully proved to court that the copy of the certificate presented by counsel Wamukota baseless. The case was adjourned to Tuesday, August 31st, 2021 for hearing.
Proper. We signed the petition as advocates, and Aisha signed her affidavit, and that is in accordance with the law. So they have been overruled, and they are supposed to pay costs.
Of how much?
Of course, we shall have to file the bill of costs.
So what's the way forward?
The way forward is that on Tuesday we are now coming back to hear the petition. All those objections were aimed at blocking us not to have the petition heard. But now that that has been concluded, we are now coming to look at the merits. We want to see whether one, Aisha Nambozo went to school, two, whether she bribed the people.
Clearly shows that the first respondent has clearly forged her way throughout from the elections to this particular point. Everything she has clearly shows that she had no truth in anything. So I would like to take this opportunity, first of all, to thank our justice system. It clearly shows that it's interested in knowing the truth. And like I said last time, the truth shall prevail. And we are very, very firm that everything is going to go our way, because there is absolutely no lies in our petition. We have raised 3 cases in this petition, and they are all as honest and truthful as possible. And we can assure you that everything this person has presented is false.
Upon return from our commercial break, we will look at wetland degradation and also the Parliamentary Committee on Trade.
My home, I smile when I think of you, Uganda, my home. My home, I dance when I look at you, Uganda, my home, oh my Uganda.
I know, with you I'll always stay forever. I know, because I feel that we belong together. My home, under the sun so bright, under the moon at night, on my heart. Mommy, oh my Uganda.
Hey mama,
My Uganda.
oh,
My Uganda.
oh,
My Uganda. My Uganda. Nikukune. My Uganda. Amari, alemira. My Uganda.
nyoe nikugonza,
My Uganda.
amina ngojo, amina ngojo.
At MTN, we look forward to starting another exciting journey together to grow our home, Uganda.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Echa COVID-19 chijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
5 for 5, 5 times the winning, yeah. 5 times the happiness, yeah. 5 times the luckiness, yeah. 5 for 5, oh yeah. It's 5 for 5. 5 for 5, 5 times the money, yeah. 5 times the shopping, yeah. 5 times the prizes, yeah. 5 for 5, oh yeah. It's 5 for 5. 5 for 5.
Win 100,000 Uganda shillings weekly in the 5 for 5 jackpot. Simply download the Center mobile app. Click Center on the go to open your account online. Transact 5 times or more using Center mobile, Center Visa, and Center agent to stand a chance to win. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. So, Participate in the 545 jackpot and win millions in daily and weekly prizes. The 545 jackpot is brought to you by Centenary Bank. Our bank, Centenary Bank, is regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits are protected.
Good afternoon once again. Now we get to hand over to URSB event that is taking place at Speak Resort Munyonyo.